All right, ladies, it's a pleasure to have you here today on this training, Become the Goddess of His Dreams, how to attract your ideal man, and how to create the best relationship that you can have. As you know, I'm a transformational and intuitive love coach for amazing, empowered women from all over the world, influential women, women who are simply committed to living their best life. And I've recently started working with men too, so that's exciting. I'm still in the process of how to label myself, etc. This training is for women, and I'm really happy to be with you here today. As I was sharing, I had a bunch of issues just coming in here, and I lost the last file that I had on the slideshow. So this is like the second time that it happens. I was sharing with the audience that I don't know if it's because of Mercury retrograde or what, but there was a lot of things last minute that happened. So it's going to be a little bit different. What I recommend for you to do is to have a piece of pen and paper with you so that you can write certain things down and use everything that you can to just stay focused. I know that as feminine beings, we have kind of like diffused awareness, like everything calls to us. We want to, do our makeup, like paint our nails. We want to do a bunch of different things. But that is actually something that I don't recommend here because it is important for you to receive. And in order for you to receive, especially in the matters of love, your heart, like in yourself, you need to be present. Both your heart and who you are needs to be really present so you can receive. So this training is designed to really help you understand what's currently going on in your love life, how you can change things around, and at the same time, really become that goddess, that version of you. Like, we are all goddesses. I'm of the belief that as women, we are the universe, okay? Each and every single one of us, we are like a different universe. And instead of worrying whether we're good enough or not, we need to be falling in love really deeply with who we are as that universe. That is going to help you embrace your uniqueness. It's going to help you attract the one. It's going to help the one really feel your vibration too. So I'm going to be giving you great tidbits of information to empower you, to help you, guide you in all aspects so that you can own your power in love, attract it no matter what you live through. And then we're also going to do a really empowering energy clearing that is going to support you in choosing yourself more, saying yes to yourself, and learning how to trust yourself more in your process and be willing to go forward for things. This training is sponsored by my Goddess of Love training, which is starting really soon. There's layers and there's levels of it, private group format, but it's actually the best program out there because one of the things that I love about this program, and for those of you who are here and who know me, I'm very deep person, and I always like to go very deep with my audience. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my story, but I'm also going to be explaining the reason why. So we're going to start now. I might be able to show certain slides because I was trying to fix it last minute, just so you know. But I will do my best. I will definitely not do my best. I'm committed to doing this training maybe again soon. Yeah, not maybe. Why am I saying all these things? That's very interesting. So we're going to be doing that soon so that you can actually see the slides and be more supported. And we're just going to change it a little bit around. But you might see certain slides today, the ones that I have ready, at least for the moment. So first of all, I welcome you. I'm excited to be here with you today. I would love to know where you're from. You can type it in the comment section. And what's your intention for this training? What really drew you here to this training? So I would love to see it in the comments. And at the same time, I just want to start with this. It is so important that we become responsible in our love lives. And I'm going to share with you what it does it mean to be responsible. I am an intuitive love coach. I'm also an engineer. I like uniting the science and the intuition, the mystical, the metaphysical, bringing it all together, because for me, and this is for you to know more about me, I believe love is a matter of the soul. We're here to kind of like bring in heaven on earth, right? And really branch out into what I like to call, and something that I'm trademarking right now, it's called like egoless dating, right? Love is an area where, especially romantic relationships, we're called to eliminate our ego. And we need to become more responsible at a soul level when it comes to love. If we were to see ourselves more as a soul rather than a lost person here just on earth, we would ask ourselves different questions. How am I here to love? How am I here to learn how to love another person? How am I here to grow closer and connect into that oneness with another person? And when we feel and see ourselves as lost, as confused, and we only believe our ego, which is that fear voice inside of us, A Course in Miracles tells us that that voice will always lead us to panic, to separation, to judgment, to criticism. So my first invitation, in order for you to step into your goddess, is to have that intention, or I'm inviting you, or I'm bringing this up to your awareness. If you were to wake up every morning and just ask yourself, how am I here to love not only myself, but to love another person? Okay, how can I deepen my capacity to love? How can I deepen my awareness of love? How can I deepen my awareness as love? And you were to take that on, and you would see life as a joyful journey to deepen that experience of love, to receive that pleasure of the joy that love brings to you and it gives to others. There will be less fear, there will be less resistance, there will be less anxiety, and ego playing inside of love, right? So that is my stance on love. I invite you to connect with your intention. What is your intention for this training? Yes, you want love. Also, are you willing to let go of your fears? Are you willing to face them and release them? Because when we are not willing to that, we're not willing to face the fears, you know what's really going on? What we're secretly choosing? We are choosing to stay with the fears. We are choosing to remain fearful. We are choosing to remain guarded. We are choosing to remain with anxiety. We are choosing separation. And what I have learned is that the universe wants you to learn your lessons. We're in Mercury retrograde right now. What does that mean? A lot of people fear Mercury, and it's like, it's not, I would even dare to say that it's not you that's fearing Mercury. It's your ego, because the fear, it fears the lesson. But the lessons of the universe are always one in love. It is a person who does not want to listen, an ego that does not want to listen, is the one that holds so much fear in them that they don't let themselves be loved. They don't let themselves be supported by the universe, by God, by life, to have the love that they want. So one thing that somebody taught me recently was that, and I love how she said it, she was like, love is the safest thing there is. It's the safest thing there is. It is safer to choose love than not to choose love. So a lot of you might be like, what does that mean? Like, Nicole, I've chosen love and I've gotten my heart broken, right? I get you. So that's why I am going to kind of train you in really knowing how to decipher those things, so that you don't fall for somebody that's not ready to love you, or somebody that's not the right fit. How does that happen, that we choose the wrong person? That is something that I'm going to be sharing with you during this training, so that you can be empowered and you don't have to go through trial and error with different people. So you can really attract your ideal person by owning your power, and you can create the best relationship that you can have by really learning how to remove that ego, learning to surrender, learning to open up, learning to manifest what you want. So how does that sound? I mean, I promise you, when you embody this essence, your goddess essence, your feminine goddess essence, you are irresistible. You are magnetic. So magnetic that men can't get enough of you. The man that is like straight up toxic, that is not good for you, he's going to run away, because he's not going to be able to know what to do with your own, like the power and the energy that you emanate. But we have to start letting people who are wounded, people who are broken, people who are hurt, to hurt us and then keep us in that kind of similar vibration. Okay? So ladies, who's excited for this? I would love to see in the comments section. What are your intentions? You can take a moment to just breathe and connect with yourself, and then share in the comment section your intentions, and then we're going to start. Okay? Right, ladies? I'm excited. So I'm going to start, as I know that some of you are writing your intentions. To know a little bit more about me, what's unique about me is that I've been doing this for over 7 years now, and I've been studying the energy of love like consistently every single day, because I think this journey started for me the moment that somebody told me, and I was quite young, but somebody told me, Nicole, unless you work on yourself, like, or unless you take responsibility, you might end up repeating the same patterns and the same mistakes that your parents made in love. And when that person told me that, I was so shocked. Like, why? Because my parents' relationship was not a good one. You know, I never saw my parents kiss. They lived together, but they weren't together. I never saw any romance between my parents. I saw them fighting all of the time. And you can say because I'm a Pisces or a Scorpio, like I'm passionate, like in when it comes to matters of love. Like I believe in love, and I grew up a hopeless romantic, and I grew up with a lack of love. So I feel like it was because of the lack of love that I was already experiencing all my life. Like not only was it not there on the outside with men, but it wasn't there inside of my family. And I quickly learned too that when two people, I'm talking about my parents, they don't see themselves as lovable themselves, it's really hard for a person who doesn't see themselves as lovable to be able to pour love onto another person. As people that we're empaths, we can pick up on that energy. So even though somebody can tell you that they love you, if they don't even feel it for themselves, like you can pick up on that vibration, you can download it. And that was what's happening for me. My parents, due to circumstances, my mom didn't like to be hugged. My mom always instilled the idea in me that my dad like wasn't gonna stay. So I always had this fear of abandonment with my dad. That I even never not that I didn't hug him, but I don't recall saying to my dad that I love you, saying those words. And my dad died when I was like 21 or something, unexpectedly. That was one of the biggest shocks that I felt, like that shock of like, wow, I was never able to say I love you to my dad, even though I loved him. So there was a lot of fear in me when it came to love. And I couldn't access it. I couldn't express it. I didn't know what it was, but I had so much fear of having my heart broken. So when that person told me that, for me, it was interesting because I was already kind of like having anxiety. I was not being authentic. I had fear of men in a way because I would put myself out there, and I would like a guy for years, and the guy would never notice me. So I was replaying some of the things that I had with my dad, with the men out there. And when that person said that to me, like, hey, Nicole, if you don't fix this, like, you might as well just repeat the same patterns that your parents did. And I was like, no. And I developed that tenacity and just saying no and saying, I'm going to change this around, because my dad taught me something, and it's really valuable. He would see me when I would go into like confused feminine energy mode, where I would get so overwhelmed by what I needed to do, that he just instructed me, Nicole, if you need to do something, you just do it. Okay. And you don't get overwhelmed, you don't get overstressed. Like, you need to do something, you need to get to like from point A to point B to point C, like whatever, you just do it. And I really admire my dad. And I said, look, I need to show up. because why? My parents never did this work for themselves. They always ran away from it. And I'm not going to have what they had. Why? Because my mom deserved better. My dad deserved better. But I guess what was happening back then is that they didn't have this information that we have available now. And I decided to study the energy of love and to really learn how to choose myself in that process of owning my worth, owning my deservedness, opening myself up to love. And I said, no matter what, I'm going to finish this through. And when I immediately started to do this work, I remember that I was getting some ideas here and there and some insights and some revelations. And then I started to work with a coach, and I started to manifest so quickly what I wanted, because the coach was helping me see the things that were like in my unconscious. I realized I started to manifest so greatly, like men out of nowhere started to show up, like invite me to dates, invite me to travel with them. And it was like, whoosh, like what happened? I open up. I really truly open up from my mind, from my heart, from my spirit. And that's my intention for everybody. When I started to see the results, I was like, wow, I need to do this. Like I need to do this in such a way where I get to support people in having the love that they really deserve. Why? Because love is why we are here. And like if we're living a loveless life, like we owe it to ourselves to figure out why and change it around, right? Like we are not at fault for what happened to us or what we grew up with, but we are responsible for changing things around. So it requires our awareness and our presence, diligence, and commitment. Now, I realized something. I was like, I want to help everybody. I want to help. I started with women. Like I said, I want to help everybody. It's like, I remember looking at all the women in my family, like being men who were cheaters. They were accepting less than what they deserved. They would end up alone, sad. And I'm like, what's going on? And I would start to notice that they had agreed to certain ideas about men, about life, about dating, about how things were. But here's the thing. Their minds were not changeable. They were set in their ways and their ideas. And in order for you to create change, in order for you to embark into this process of owning your goddessness, living your greatest love story, and I want to see it, I want you to see both of it together, like, because I work both with the confidence and the embodiment and also the love. It's like you need to first say, you know what, am I willing to be wrong? Am I willing to be taught something? Am I going to be teachable? Right? We need to have a humble heart when it comes to this process, because if you're set in your ways and at the same time you see that they're not working for you, then like life, God, the universe is trying to bring you all the resources for you, but you are the person who's not willing to let go of your ideas. So I had to become teachable, right? I had to have a willingness to learn, to implement, to receive with grace. And because when a person is set in their ways, fear-based ways, it's just, like I said, we're holding on to more fear. That is not going to lead you to the love that you want. It is actually going to push you, okay? It's just, we attract, like, I want to say something. When it comes to love, if we are not in hold of our energy, like in our goddessness and our goddess authority, basically what happens is that we attract many times what we fear. Or we don't even attract it because we fear it so much that we stay in a state of limbo where there's no man, there's no relationship, and your mind will always find a reason to say, oh, it's because of the men in my city. Oh, it's because of this. Oh, it's because of the other. But in reality, it's your inner authority, what you're saying about love, and you will protect yourself from it. I will give you an example. I remember when I started working with my coach and she was looking into my energy, and I've actually had this happen with people too, where she will look at your energy, you're like, or I will look into your energy and I will see, it's like, you're telling me that you want love, that you try to work on how you dress. You try to work on what to say to a guy. And the thing is that it doesn't work out, but in reality, in your unconscious, you don't want the love because you're trying to protect yourself from it. So you've disowned that part of you, you've disconnected from that part of you, and you're walking around life not knowing that you made a choice, maybe when you were 4, maybe when you saw your parents fighting. And that is what's leading and dominating your life, but it's so unconscious that it's disowned, okay? So it is a matter of really coming back into that alignment so that we really thrive, and you let yourself have the love that you want. Let me know in the comment section if this is resonating. So we're going to start now with understanding the following. A principle of becoming your own goddesses and in going into this journey of doing this work is to, first and foremost, as women, to stop comparing yourself with other women. Okay, let's look at the energy of love for a minute. Every person did not grow up with the same parent. Okay, it's funny that most of us get kind of like the same upbringing in school when it comes to the basics about finances, about art, what to do in these scenarios, what to do as a good member as a society. We all get those trainings, thank God, right? But do we get them in love? Is the question that I have for you. Do we get them in love? Not really. Like nobody, there's not like a class of love in school or high school, right? There isn't. What we basically learn is what we saw from our parents growing up or what we felt, right? And it's kind of like you're walking through life not knowing and not everybody's different. This is the area where everybody is different. So what happens is that we just learn from observing. The thing about this is that you can't compare yourself to other women. For us specifically as women, apart from the fact that we haven't learned about love in school or have kind of like the same foundation, there's an added element to femininity, to being a woman, and it's recent and it's in the last years, right, where we are constantly bombarded with are you good enough? You're not good enough until you do this, and you're not good enough until you work on your butt. You're not good enough until you do like your hair, this or the other. Not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. How does that translate into your unconscious is an energy of shame, okay? Because I'm gonna call it out. Like there's this, I should be good at love. If something is not working out for me, immediately what happens inside of a woman's mind is like, am I not that lovable? Am I not that good enough? Like, why is it that I'm just not naturally attracting somebody? But because you don't have an understanding of your programming that you grew up with when you were a child, right? Or the things you chose when your mind was so like young, okay? When you don't have an understanding of the things that you chose then, or in big moments of heartbreak, and you don't feel like you have a hold of your energy, what happens is that you take things super personally, and all you learn to do, and this is the beginning stage, all you learn to do is that you base your worth based off on the attention that you get of what other people say about you. And that is a big mistake, okay? So other than, because I'm going to be very real with you. When it comes to men, if you tell a man, okay, in order to do this, you need to go do this or this or this or this, right? Like prepare yourself, maybe take a training or ask for it. Men don't have that programming like us women do. They don't have it. That shame programming, they do not, okay? So there's this big conversation about why men are further like on companies, like, you know, line, etc. Well, men don't deal with the levels of shame that women do, okay? So men are not basing their worth based on what other people say about them, right? So is it a shame that that happens? Sure. But it's not about matter of just staying inside of that. It's like, okay, fine, what do I need to do for me? Okay, so we want to understand that there's this added layer of shame that happens when women start to do this work. And it can backfire. The way that it backfires is that you feel like you need to do this work because there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You are a goddess straight up right here, right now. The real work is getting your unconscious and the other places in your being and in your soul that are not catching up to that, okay? Because it's an act of love for you to do this work of owning your goddessness And it's like, okay, I'm not responsible of what we saw growing up or how society has handled these topics, but I am responsible of loving myself enough to get all of my energy, or most of my energy, on par with the awareness that I am enough, that I am more than deserving. See, when I mention to people like, hey, you're deserving, etc., a lot of women say, yes, I know that, but there's like a fidgetedness like around them, around it, but they're not fully trusting it, and they try to force words into their mind and owning it, and that's not the solution. During this training, I'm going to explain to you what is the solution and why just try to affirm things in your mind, for a lot of women, it just doesn't work. So the solution is that instead of having shame for yourself, is to show yourself compassion, to give to yourself with a humble heart, with a generous heart. Be like, okay, let me have compassion for the version of me, the version of Nicole, the version of Kiara, the version of Jessica, the version of Alejandra, right? That didn't get that love. And let me be there for that. So I'm going to be in alignment. Because you wonder, inside of the comparison, it's like, but why is it that it's so easy for that other woman? But then you stay stuck in that. And then that's why I want you to get that is not you. That is your ego. Okay? Ego stands for fear. And that is why I always say that we are not just people here, like we're souls. Like if you do work with me, like you know that I see it that way. It's like we are souls here to learn love, here to learn our real nature of love. So while we have a voice of fear, we are here to learn how to not choose that voice of fear. It's a level of mastery, right? So in reality, we know this. Like the person who is responsible is the person who gets far ahead in life. But I say it in this way. It's like when I say responsible, I'm not saying irresponsible and responsible. I'm saying is the person who is, because I had this on my slides, a person who is responsible is a person who knows how to respond through love in situations. A person that is the opposite of that would be a person who is reactive, reacting in fear, reacting. So we've got to, instead of being reactive, we've got to learn how to be responsible. Okay, this situation happened. How can I fix it? And just staying in the present moment of fixing the situation without attacking yourself, without judging yourself, without knowing that you are already whole. The part is getting that alignment together so that your inner child, your subconscious, your heart, your chakras, your body, your soul, they really get it. Okay? Let me know in the comment section if this is making sense, because if I talk with a man about doing this work, they understand that they do it whether they want to do it, but they do it with ease. It's a conversation like this. I have been working with women for years, and it's always like, oh, like, well, why should I do this? Like, and it's just this added layer of shame that if we could just move to the side and see that somebody's trying to help you, whether it's me or somebody else, whoever that person is that's trying to help you, they're trying to help you get over that shame. And that is your hidden enemy. That is your silent enemy. The shame, the fear, that blocks your vision. It's what attracts toxic people to you, because you're carrying that energy. And I want you to help you carry good energy that is healthy for you, and it breaks you free from all those kind of like karmic patterns with other people. So the thing about this is you want to stop comparing yourself, and kind of like when you're doing yoga, right? When we're doing yoga, there's like, do not compare yourself to other people. Like your journey is your journey. Learn to accept that. I did not have like a happy upbringing, and then I had a bunch of friends who did, right? And I still had to do the work. And you know what I realized is that a lot of those people, even though they had a happy upbringing, they had just one idea that they were not lovable. It just happened like a tiny moment in time. And then they had to learn to do their own work to be in alignment. Okay? So it's not a matter of like, oh my God, I have all this stuff and this other person has this little. No, because it's not a goal-oriented thing. You're not doing this work to get a man. You choose to do this work to love yourself, to feel more pleasure, to receive more in life, to just feel good, right? And then the man comes in, right? And you maybe keep doing the work or you don't do it, but it's just a matter of what opportunities God given me right now to be closer to love, to life, to the universe, to love. Like, I'm going to take it. It's a choice that you're making. It's just that if we can learn to do this work with like a surrendered energy, with a joyful energy, with a fun energy, like, you know what? This is actually going to help me. You're going to get quicker results. Okay. So the first, like, immediate results, because you see that life just wants to help you. Okay. So ladies, what are you getting from this? I would love to hear from you. You can unmute yourself if you want to, or you can text, but I would love to hear from you. As I was sharing with others, I don't know if it's because Mercury retrograde or something, but I had like a bunch of stuff happen. Like, I lost the slides. I have a couple slides left, but I committed to doing it again so that you could have like the proper slides. So I just want to be able to, I know that when we're doing a training like where it's just video, we can get a little bit lost, but I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you, to get some feedback. Okay. Should I continue? Hello there. Awesome. Do you want to say something? Hello? I can barely
Hi, can you hear me at all?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I just kind of popped in really quick. I might not be able to stay for long, but what you said resonated with me. I mean, I only heard a few minutes of it, but
Yeah.
I think you were saying that, you know, everybody's coming from a different place, and like healing, like feels progressive at different times. I mean, or for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still diving deep into the whole feminine energy, you know, what is it, realm. But I listened to you on YouTube and everything, and so I felt like what you were saying definitely resonated right now. So
yeah, I'm happy to hear that you're saying that.
It's here to learn more and see or hear different perspectives.
Yeah,
on the subject.
For sure. Awesome. Thank you for
if that
sharing.
makes sense.
No, it does. It does. Totally. Thank you so much for sharing. You know, I love what you were saying. How do I say your name? Kelly or Kaylee? Oh, I love what you were saying because it's so key. If you can really take this to heart and not just kind of like hear it here and just release it, like if you could just surrender, what I mean is just open up to, hey, the big understanding that life loves you, right? You guys know that I'm a channeler, right? Like I'm an intuitive, and I you know, I really, I'm a big believer like in angels and like angels of love. And I remember one time when I was channeling something, and it really dawned on me, like I've never really shared this in a live training like this, but I've been feeling really guided to share it because it's quite spiritual, and I'm quite spiritual too. But I work with women regardless of their belief, you know, like regardless of their spiritual background. But this is something that I asked based on like the background that I grew up with about like the Garden of Eden. I was trying to understand like metaphysically like what it really represented. And the download that I got was so shocking that it really like, you know, kind of like opened up my heart, like it broke it open. Because it was what I understand from this reality is that we live in a world where we are here to master ourselves when it comes to love. We might not have a guidebook about how to do love when we were born, but the truth is that like the Garden of Eden, what it basically represented and what I understood is like, Nicole, like every day either you're choosing to be inside of the Garden of Eden where all of your needs are met, like the love is there, the provision is there, everything there, every day with every thought that you choose, you're either inside of it or you're out of it. Okay. And that is like the relationship that there is like with the ego. And let me know if this resonates, because when you think you are below God or life, you know, like God doesn't love you, God doesn't, like, you're not worthy of God, you come out of the garden, right? And you come out of your manifestation of love, whatever you want. But when, or the other side of this is when you think you're better than God, better than life, better than others, you come out of the garden too, because you don't know how to give and you don't know how to circulate love, give and receive love. And that is like the mastery that we're here to learn and understand. And I take that to heart, and I take that inside of my study, where it's like, am I choosing love, right? The moment that I start fearing people, the moment that I start choosing to close down my heart, the moment I start thinking that I'm better than other people, the moment I think I'm not gonna have love, like all of those things, I'm either choosing to be inside of the garden or to be outside of it, right? And what happens when you're outside of it? And what I love about this is that I really loved it, because when you look at what I saw the Bible that way, like what it really taught me was that even when you, like, the people got outside of the garden and they created this timeline, right, where like of that separation, what happened was that you kept seeing stories and stories again of, hey, no matter what you do, as soon as you realize what you did and you feel like you want to, you feel sorry for it, like the Father is there to welcome you back. There's always love. Like there's always these instances, like when you come back into that energy, you always get your needs met. And that really opened up my heart, because it was like, because only love is real, right? So it's like the moment you start choosing your ego, whether it makes you feel inferior or it makes you feel superior, or it makes you feel like you don't need other people, like you don't need life, the universe, God, whatever, however you want to call it, you don't need that interconnectedness, right? That's when you create separation, hurt, famine, etc. Right? So when we act out of that integrity, where we believe in the lack and we go against other people, we take from other people, we believe in lack, we don't give joyously, that's when we get the wires crossed, and it's just like endless suffering. So maybe our parents were in that endless suffering, but we don't have to take on their suffering as our suffering and then take it on and keep on the suffering. We just need to learn how to go back to the garden, right? Garden of worthiness, of deservedness, of knowing how to play with other people and share and give and multiply. When we think about the garden, it's a garden of abundance, right? So that really touched me. And that's what I want everybody to get. Like, we think about it, we see sins, we see all these things. They're all rooted in lack. They're all rooted in separation. But when we come back into wholeness and we come back to the truth of our worth, and we learn how to expand and how to give more and share love, you will see in your interactions, and you will be able to recognize when somebody is not acting in that level of integrity, and you're not even going to engage in it, right? Because it's like fear attracts fear. You're actually, because your heart is open to give, to receive love, you feel worthy, you know it's going to come to you, it comes to you. Now, what is the work that we do? What is the work that we do when it comes to healing and coming back to that truth? Is, you might hear this today and you're like, oh my gosh, you're right, right? But then there's parts of us that are stuck in time, that are rebellious, that are stubborn, that are outdated, because that's what fear or trauma or whatever it does to you. It stays stuck in time. And we want to go to that energy and help it heal, release all of that stuff, and then come back to the garden, right? And learn how to then build up the mindset, the energy, the framework for you to grow in that aspect. So life is about love and life is about expansion. But when we hold on to fear, we remain stuck. We stay in the past. And that is our mastery here. So whenever I do this work about releasing my ego to coming back to love, which is almost every day, it is satisfying to me, because I hold myself to a bigger standard. I am committed to being love. Okay? And that is a huge part of what helps you own your goddessness and makes you a goddess, because the love that you're offering is so clean. It is so clean. And also you're releasing fear from your being and your system, so it makes you really powerful. You're not a victim to circumstance, right? You will be able to pick up if something wants to harm you or not. We are coming closer to that energy of love, right? And therefore, when you come closer to it, you understand that you're provided, you're protected for, etc., and you're powerful, and you have the say over your life. And that is sexy. That is attractive to the right man. And we think about it because when you look at a man that you want in your life, a man that you want in your life is a man that a man in your life that you want is a man that, even though he's had his heart broken, you want a man that is firm, that is clear, that is committed, that knows what he wants. You want all these things, meaning you want a man who's done his work and has not let himself become a victim to circumstance or to past heartbreak, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's like energetic match. So it is about you showing up and just being humble in the energy of like, hey, I'm going to do this work for me, right? And I'm excited to do it for me, right? I'm excited to release all of the mental and egoic traps that I've captured like all of my life. I'm going to be free of my ego so I can be closer to the energy of love, to my own embodiment. And then, like I said earlier, love is the safest thing there is. You're learning when you choose love, it's the safest thing there is. You're going to have all your needs be met. But your ego will have it look like it's scary. Like it's going to be scary to deal with it. No, it's lying to you. It's actually safe to choose love, if that makes sense, right? That is the safest choice. When you choose real love, love coming from the universe first, love with yourself, then you open up your heart, and that's how you attract real love to you. And that is the journey of becoming the goddess in love, right? It's keeping your heart open and releasing the fear. Now, why do I do this work in such a way? Because you might think you release it on your mental level, but like I said, you've had this for maybe 30, 40 years, okay? Or 20 something years. You have it with you. I'm going to explain this later on. What happens is that there's parts of you that are fighting each other, right? Fear creates this fragmentation in your being, in your body, in your soul, okay? So you stop communicating with different parts of you. It's like the wholeness is not fully there. So that when you decide something energetically, it just immediately translates and moves to the rest of your body. That's why a lot of the women that I talk with are having troubles trusting themselves in this area, because they have like different messages going on within them. So we bring it all down, okay? We bring that awareness all the way through your body, and then you're powerful and nobody can stop you. And you attract a really high caliber man, right? A man who matches your energy. And then you're not afraid of life, and you just enjoy and create life because you understand that sometimes, I'll share something. I start to do this work, and it's not like I have it all figured out, you know, in my life, but I work through the layers of what I want. And there was a moment where I was so, like, I felt fear. I felt like I was scared because I was starting to manifest at such a quick level that I realized that all I needed to do was just request it. And listen to how my ego shut up. It was like, Nicole, because you've been doing this work, and if it's so easy for you, people are going to be jealous of you. They're going to be fearful that you're making things happen so quickly. And that's how my ego came in the moment. I was like, look, I don't care. I get to continue to expand, because the only way that I can help people is by expanding and showing them the way. But my mind was actually scared of having things be easy when that should be our right. So I want you to see how doing this work can really, truly empower you. I'm curious to know, what are you getting from this? Because this is the first time that I've actually shared this with an audience, like an open audience. But it's a really interesting thing. Becoming a goddess is not just about the looks. It's about really clearing this whole energy within you about your worth, that is going to help you trust yourself. It's going to help you empower you. And you are so connected with all of life that all of life wants to support you. So would anybody like to share based on what I just shared? What you got from it?
What
Yes.
I'll say what you think. I got from it that you were saying that it's beyond looks and everything. It's a worthiness from within. And I did your program, and that's exactly what I got from it. I used to base a lot of my worthiness on external things. I didn't realize that I am love. So what I'm getting from it is that we are love, and once we connect to that, we are in alignment. When we're in alignment, we attract everything we want to the exact vibration that we are.
Yeah. And how was that for you? That, like, when you did the program, like, where were you at and what did you see, like, just from doing the program, or what shifted?
I had a similar story to yours where my growing up, I didn't see love. My parents were fighting, and there wasn't an energy of love in my house. So I guess I didn't know. And when I signed up to the program, I saw you on YouTube, and then you were speaking, and it's literally like you were speaking to me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. What is this feminine energy? So it was at the lowest point in my life, really, where I was so unworthy. And I had so much shame, which is the lowest vibration. And I just kept attracting the same and same and same stories with men. And I was so sick of it. And so I did the program, and I got out of it way more than I even expected. And I got basically at the base of it all is worthiness, worthiness from within. And it helped me it just helped me become who I am. It reminded me who I was as a person. So I feel like I got back to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just, worthiness is everything. And I can't even explain it. Like, you go so deep, and I like to go deep, and I believe you have to go deep in order to get it. But it was the best thing I ever did in my entire life, the best investment for myself. And everyone said to me, oh my God, you're so different. They see the confidence in me, and I'm literally walking around like a queen. Like, it's, everyone jokes around about that, but I literally am. And I'm not a victim anymore. I'm trying not to be, like you said, it's always going deeper and deeper. But I feel so worthy from within. And when you do that, you just don't take shit from anyone, and
Right.
everything works out. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm excited, and I'm honored that you decided to do the program and you work with me, because you're so open to do the work. And like I said, like, it requires a humbleness to do it, right? A surrender energy and awareness.
Yeah.
So that was beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Would anybody else like to share? The next step where I'm going to go into is feminine energy, understanding it, what it really means. And we're going to start looking at the places where you can be blocking love. Then we're going to move next into, we're going to be doing a clearing, and you're going to know more about Goddess of Love. Like I said, I invite you to stay until the very end, because there is an option for you for being here on the call live with me. And I would love to hear from you. You're also going to have the opportunity for a Q&A. So anybody else would like to share? What you got from it? Okay, so nobody? Okay, so we're going to move into the energy of being a goddess, and you're owning your feminine energy. The basis and principle of feminine energy is that we love being the light, right? We are the universe, we are the stars, right? We love to be seen because we understand our inherent beauty and worthiness from within, and it's unquestionable. Now, that is, you can say, the ideal, right? But it's not the ideal. It's the core of who we are at a soul level. It's a reflection of our spirit. So beings who are naturally feminine, like that's our right. That's what we need to be in. The energy of loving, receiving, feeling the worthiness of being receiving, being treated like a goddess. Now, the ego, some of the lies of the ego that you will find about this is that society or people or your ego straight up voice, like it's going to say to you, oh, is irresponsible for me to receive that much. If I'm receiving that much, I'm taking away from others. I shouldn't have this much. I shouldn't receive this much. It's not safe for me to receive. I should have less. And it's very interesting. Receiving more is dangerous. These are some of the beliefs that I've seen over the years that women have. And it all depends on your story, but it's taking away from your right. Okay. Masculine energy loves to give. Actually, one of the ways in which masculine energy loves to give is that why it loves to give is because, like I said, they're both forms of love, but now a lot of men actually feel loved by giving. So we don't even let a man feel love when we deny their giving. So life is about that circulation of giving and receiving. We see it in the air. When we inhale, we exhale. There is that flow of energy, and that's how we expand, right? The moment we stop receiving, the moment it's like we stop receiving from God, from life. And it's like, why wouldn't you want to receive from God or from life or from the universe, right? Like, I want you to see how that's an ego idea. It will say, oh, there isn't enough, or I shouldn't have this, or I should be slow with it. But, the quicker you can receive, the better. Because I want you to see feminine energy is a receptive, like, channel, where it's like the more we say yes to receiving, the more we bring onto the earth so others can even have, right? So we need to learn how to say yes to receiving, yes to being our best self, yes to owning our highest and biggest desires, because that is actually an act of trust and real communication with the universe and life itself. So you shouldn't feel like inadequate about receiving. Now, there is a part of you that might feel inadequate about receiving. That is your identity formed through time and what others have taught you about it. You might have been called, not cocky, like selfish or something like that by receiving more, but it's by people who are unconscious, who don't know what they're saying. We're not, like when we don't really get this, of course, when you receive, you become a good steward of what you receive, right? Does that make sense? It's all an energy of love. But going back to the garden, a person who feels unworthy of what they receive, they will destroy it. So you see what I mean? Like, it's like you need to feel worthy to receive and to do good with it. Now, feminine energy is an energy of receiving. It is an energy of trust. It is an energy of relationship. One of the ways in which we grow as souls when we are like in our feminine essence is by learning how to nurture and love everybody and how to open up our heart to people. Now, you might say, but how do I do that without getting hurt? Well, you do that by learning how to do your work. What work? It is about learning to see, first I see, like, my clients see themselves this way, either way, like learning to see yourself as a soul, right? And learning how to choose love in every given moment. Now, I teach this inside of my course. I teach love in a different way when it comes about vibration and choices at a soul level, outside of just dating, because that's important for you to, like, you look at the energy that is being taught, and then you choose who you really are in your essence, and you start operating from that place. Now, I want to say here about being in your feminine energy. Feminine energy is not just about the physical looks. We are so beautiful. Like, we emanate so much light, so much nurturing, that light translates from who we are from a soul level. Now, we need to own that. We need to feel confident about that. We need to like being seen. And in order for you to be confident about being seen, about being a goddess, you need to know how to handle your fears. The fears that come up, the fears of the ego. I don't even like saying your fears, but you know what I'm saying is about fears of the ego. And learning from that mastery what to do with them. So on an everyday basis, it could look like denying certain thoughts, like, casting them away. But if you come with certain fears from, an early childhood, etc., do the appropriate work to heal them. Okay, that is your responsibility. Okay, The only thing that would have you not do the work is fear. So fear cannot cast out fear, right? Judgment cannot cast out judgment, right? You have to do the work. Only love can cast out fear. So what does that mean? Let me face this and let me heal this, and let me find out where is it exactly that I am blocking myself from letting myself shine. So as a soul, we need to learn how to become responsible. We make the choice. It's like when we choose fear, it's like we forget who we really are. We are made in the image and likeness of the universe, of God, or how you want to call it. It's like we have immense power, okay? And we, like, even it says, I don't know why I'm quoting scripture so much. I normally don't tend to do this. I am still working through a thing of like I've been healing a lot on this area of what people will think, but like just take it and apply it if it resonates for you. Like I can personally listen from different types of like books, and I know how to decipher what feels right and true for me because of the work that I've been doing for years. The thing is that we have to, I was going to say like only love, like perfect love casts out fear. I think that's what I was saying. So the thing about this is that we have to know levels in which fear shows up. And I'm going to explain to you the certain type of levels that I've personally seen and that I work through with my clients inside of the program Goddess of Love, so that you have a deeper understanding of what's going on. Now, there's levels in which we resist love from coming in. We resist or we don't allow love from coming in. You don't allow your man to come in. And I want you to become aware of them. And this is where you can take a piece of pen and paper and write down. Well, first you have your soul level, right? You have soul level. You resist or you block love away from at the level of your soul. You resist or block love at the level of your mind. And this can be subconscious or unconscious, okay? Then there's the conscious mind too. You block or resist love through your nervous system, okay? You block or love through your body. It could be through cellular memory or through your chakras. And there's other layers too that show up in your different types of like energetic bodies. Those are the ones that I want to bring up for today. Now, I address those with my clients inside of the programs. Now, before your mind goes into like, oh my God, this is so complicated, it's not. This is not something that you need to try to figure out on your own. I don't recommend that you do that on your own. What I do want to say is the following. These are the areas that I handle with my clients. And I'm not saying that you might be blocked in all of them, okay? I find out when I'm working with somebody where they're holding that energy, okay? Because I'm an intuitive, I can look into the energy, I can feel it, I can receive the information. I'm an empath, like my sun and my moon is in Pisces, like it's like I feel a lot. So, and I do this work out of love, right? So I pick up on where the energy is at, and I help you through different energetic and release modalities to help you release those fears that you have about love. Like Kara can testify about like the sessions that we had, and you're like, oh my God, I felt that there. How do you knew that that was there? Like it was just there because energy is felt, and energy has certain vibrations, so I can easily pick it up because of the work that I do. Do you want to say something, Get Out, or no? I just saw you. No, it's okay. So that is really important. So these are the places where you might be blocking love, and I'm going to be real with you. I keep it straight up. So first of all, soul level. What I want to say about the soul level is that we are love, right? Now, we are bigger than just our bodies. We are soul in a body. And life is giving us lessons for us to come back to love, return back to love, to the awareness of who we are. Life is so loving that it gives us opportunities time and time again for us to come back to love, right? So what does that mean? Wanting to release a grudge from somebody, unforgiveness, karma. Many of us are like, karma will beat you in the face, or karma will do this to you. And we're celebrating karma all around on Instagram or all these platforms, and that's ego. Wishing karma on another person, for me, that personally, that's ego. Like, you don't have to wish it. Like, basically from what I understand, the universe is going to work with that person over and over and over and over again until they come back to love. They release their ego. But like, sometimes the karma is like kind of like wishing somebody a bad thing. And then we create karma for ourselves. You see what I mean? It's a very interesting thing. We are not the judge in situations like that. So what happens is, at a soul level, you can be holding a grudge with somebody. Okay? And then one of your lessons could be like learning how to forgive another person who hurt you, because you don't know how that person was feeling separate from life, etc. So what happens is, at a soul level, we can block love. Okay? The choices that we're making, where we don't choose to like have that love for others, right? Like, it's not just our personality here. We have to understand that we're dealing with our soul, meaning I've had to become humble. Does that make sense? It's like I've had to catch my mind, where it's like I wanted to wish ill to somebody because I felt so much hurt. But that is my mastery, my personal mastery. But you might have your own personal mastery. So inside of the program, we go through like lessons and some of the things that I've channeled that are really relevant for the group, about opening our hearts, learning how to forgive, and how to stop creating karma with others, whether you believe in past lives or not. But the thing is, we want to stop that cycle and just have peace about things, and not feel entitled over other people. I know it sounds harsh, and I'm not going to have you, instead of the program, spiritually bypass something. You know, I honor you and your feelings, and I help you where you're at. I just give you this so that you know that there's things for us to learn as souls that are actually really relevant. And the things that I've learned over the years, the things that I've channeled, because I have this innate desire to learn, but also to understand truth. Like, I don't like being lied to. Like, I teach truth, and I teach intuition inside of the programs too. But I want you to understand, it's like I want you to have that own discernment to understand truth. One of the greatest factors that you will notice is that measure like of truth is peace. Like A Course in Miracles says, if you feel peace when somebody tells you something, like, you understand that it's a closer vibration to truth. Makes you gives you a lot of turmoil. Then, you know, you have to do some inner work there, or just assess to see what's going on. But I can tell you, if somebody is teaching you scarcity, if somebody is teaching you playing games with other people, tricks, etc., manipulating people, that is not true. That's going to feel slimy and weird. Okay, so that's one area, soul. And what I've understood about being a soul is that our journey here is to expand our capacity to love. The moment I forget that, and I want you to understand what happens. This is a metaphysical teaching that I'm going to give you now. Because our souls are quite big, and we even look at the nature of life, that we're always expanding. The universe is expanding. That's the nature of who we are. How do we expand? By learning love, right? Because it opens up our heart. We open up more and more and more and more and more and more. Now, what happens is that when we hold on to lower vibrations like shame, scarcity, hate, judgment, wrongness, guilt, fear, we start to shrink and we condense ourselves, right? And we remain stuck in something. We're literally going against the nature of life, right? And then your angels, the universe, they want to help you, and like, hey, you have an opportunity, free will, right? But you have the choice to expand or not. Now, what happens is that when you don't choose to expand, you can start hurting people around you too, right? Or that's why some certain people leave of your life, because you are choosing to remain where you're at, like headstrong on a specific point of view. So that's one thing. I learned through the soul work for me to become a good listener, to become really open with the universe. And that's how I stopped fearing Mercury retrograde, because life has its own like cycles. And it's like, okay, like Mercury retrograde is so shaky for a lot of people, because you see all your resistance to doing your work, right? And because you're not doing this work, like life just looks like it's hitting you like from all places. It's not like God or the universe. Life is giving you a loving opportunity for you to look at something that was keeping you away from that sense of wholeness, from that sense of peace. And the more you learn how to choose love, the more Mercury retrograde is like easy peasy, right? Because you are actually being a good listener and just joyfully doing what you're here to do, which is to enjoy life more. So then you have the mind level. Now, what I see here that happens at the mind level is that you choose and you pick up on energy from when maybe you were a kid. I don't know if you know this, but ages 0 to 7, your mind is like purely subconscious, which is just like reactive behavior, choices, emotionality, like it's big. So you make those choices, but then you hide it and you protect yourself, and it creates self-sabotage. It's like, put it to you this way, what you have in your subconscious is like what you protect dearly the most, right? Like your most biggest survival instincts. So for you growing up, if love wasn't safe, you saw your parents fighting with something, you might have simply chosen, I don't want this love. Even though your heart yearns for it big time, and you consciously think like, I'm so ready for love, somewhere in your mind, if you have a thought in your mind that says love is dangerous, for example, do you think that you're going to allow love to come into your life? No. But that's to empower you to realize like, hey, maybe if all these things are happening, I have a power in changing it. And then the more you're realigned with the energy of love, the more you let yourself flourish, the more you let yourself be seen, right? And the more you own your power in such a way that you know how to decipher whether somebody's a good fit for you or not. The higher your level of trust, but not just in yourself, but understanding of the universe, of yourself, and of love, the higher of the caliber of the man that you're going to attract, right? And that's what we do inside of this work. Then we move into the nervous system. You know, mind, I personally see that the mind is where we tend to protect ourselves. But the nervous system is an area where I actually find that we have resistance to things. We have resistance. So for example, if something impacts your nervous system, if you don't feel safe receiving love, if you were repeatedly told in the back of your mind that you were not good enough, your nervous system can have a play in something, because what women do is that we don't get frustrated, we get overwhelmed, right? And when we get overwhelmed, we create sabotage and we drop things, okay? So think about it this way. If your nervous system is like holding certain energies about love, it could be just simply your meridians too. What happens is that you're going to resist the love from coming in. So this is all embodiment. This is all feminine embodiment. It's about bringing the body in alignment back to love. Okay. It's not going to be traumatic to do this work. It's actually, you're going to feel peace. Okay. Like, I know I'm mentioning like there's certain things that could be going on, but I need to say it because I can see when I speak, like where somebody might get it the wrong way, right? And they're like, oh, I just need to, say some positive affirmations. Let me try to do this like this, but you don't know where you're holding the energy in the first place. So, like I said, these energies have their own way of thinking. Like they govern your body in different ways. So, let's say your mind is saying something, your soul is saying something else, your nervous system is saying something else, and then it's like a disconnect, like in Spanish we cortocircuito, like like imagine like a fuse, like just like exploding. Why? They're saying different things, right? And then you wonder, like, why is it that I couldn't really pick up if this guy was good for me or not, right? Because they were saying different things. They all had different agendas to protect you in different ways. That there's like fear in your system, and then you're like, why am I repeating and why am I attracting the same guy? Is this making sense? Like, because you're saying different things and you've learned how to live in love or in life in such a way that it's like survival based, flight or flight, protection mode. I don't know what I'm going to track. And then next thing you know, you're like, Nicole, I've worked with directors, CEOs, like people who have their stuff together in many ways, and like really driven, like sometimes empowered women. And the thing is that they're like, but why is it in my love life? Why is it that everything works out for me and I don't choose my next level? Like, why is it working out in this area but not in this area? Well, you learn healthy habits growing up. You learned to believe that money was safe growing up. You knew that you had power over money, like you could attract it, right? But with love, you really were truly brought up with an energy unconsciously that it was not safe. So then immediately you go into survival or fight or flight all of your life. And maybe you had a better picker when you were younger, but then the picker when you grow up started to like, I'm like, why am I not getting it right anymore? Well, it's a lot of survival energy in your system, and eventually it breaks, right? It's too much overload, over-functioning energy with you. So for you, it could be safer to just focus on work because you get things done. Now, what I've actually seen it with some clients is that this starts to translate into other areas. And that's why I'm so passionate about like making it really specific for you so that you understand why life has become maybe a little bit chaotic in your love life, or you're stopping yourself from moving forward. Therefore, you're not expanding, you're shrinking, right? Because these fears start to translate into other areas. One of the biggest fears that I see for some women in my audience is like, fear of what people are going to think of me if they're going to judge me. So they could be having, the opportunity for a promotion, CEO role, moving into their own company. They could be making good six figures and they're going to move into the millions, or they could be moving to the next stage. What happens is, and we all have this regardless of where we're at in life, it's like, ooh, but what if this happens? What if I'm judged? Fear will have you not moving forward, right? Or stop your progress or sabotaging it consciously or unconsciously. And if you choose to be right about your point of view, about why you're not moving forward, then you remain there. I recently saw this in Panama. There's a lot of bookstores here. There was a bookstore that closed and that was here for years. And they were like, people are not buying books anymore. People are not doing this. People are not doing the other. And I'm like, but why is it that the other bookstore just recently opened up like 3 more? Like, why is it that this company is growing and it has like it all over the country? And why are you saying that people are not buying books and you're closing? Like, I buy books. Like, all of my friends buy books. Like, it did not make any sense to me. So we have a decision always to make of growing and expansion. That's what we're here to do, and believe more and release our resistance to receiving the next stage. So the more we stop doing this work of self-awareness and doing the work, and that's why in love we do so much work, because we were not taught to do it all of our life. That's why sometimes when it comes to money or other things, it's easier, because you already had a solid programming that supported your evolution and your expansion in it, right? So that's why we do this work, because we want to have your soul, your mind, your nervous system, okay, and your body all vibrating the same thing. For you, it might not be all of them. It might be a couple, or it could be 3, or it could be 4, who knows? But I would have to, that's why I work so intimately with my clients in the first place. So that you get it, because we are responsible. I'm very passionate about learning. And sometimes when people come at me with limitations, like I remember this line that somebody told me, like, Nicole, somebody's always selling something on some, like on another, like someone is always trying to sell you something. It's like sell you something. It's up to you to believe it or not. And whenever somebody comes to me with limitation, it's like, I don't want to hear it. Like not in a judgy way, like in my heart, I'm like, look, no, I'm going to believe in the expansion. Now, I might say this consciously. I had to do this work a lot with money, because I remember one time somebody was like, Nicole, even though you're saying like, I love money, thank you so much for money, like you really don't. Like I had some fears of my mom about money being bad in the back of my mind. So I had to work on it, but I had to release the ego and not fight the person and be like, you know what, you're right, and do the work to be in that alignment. And then that's when I started to tap into that. I was like, oh, what is coming to me? Money is coming to me, right? And I had to remain comfortable, like receiving even when others weren't, because I became more available to receive, okay? Available to have no objection to the receiving of the thing that I wanted. But if you have objections about love and about receiving it, and it's quote unquote by your ego, safer to not have it, then you see why your reality is this or this or this or this. Okay? So a goddess loves to receive in all forms, shapes, and ways, or the ways just that bring you pleasure. And that is what we need to learn, because the more you learn to receive, like it's another person's job to learn how to receive too, right? We need to become more receptive. That is our, or right, given by life, by God, but however you want to call it, like it's our right. Then we have the body, where it could be cellular memory, or your chakras, or like your different energetic bodies. But I don't go much into that. Like I work it with my clients, but I'm not going to go much into that one. But the body is interesting because, have you ever felt like you're talking to somebody, you're opening up to a guy or something like that, and then like you feel a pang in your chest and you're like, or you feel anxiety? That's cellular memory, holding on to the energies. Now, when you kind of like have that, I hear the word like gestation, like of that energy over and over and over in your body. What happens is that you can create tears, maybe like in your aura and your energy of fear, right? And it's like disruption to your self-trust. And that energy stops you. I want you to understand how fear stops you, right? And it's so, that phrase that says, what you focus on expands. You're so focused on the fear that what's the word for it in English? I would say arrow, right? Like, or kind of like the arrow or the pointer is going to be like, ding, 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 like emotionally unavailable man. And then, because you're not having a hold of the energy well, you're like, oh, but I feel so attracted to him, right? But it's just a bunch of energy from the past, and you're confused because your energy is not signaling it all right? A lot of these things are happening, okay, unconsciously, depending on where you're at. And the universe is like, no, this guy's not the good fit for you. So, but we need to learn how to do this work out of love for ourselves. Our chakras are centers of energy in our being, in our body, and when they hold a lot of fear, right, or resistance, or lack of awareness of just being in our worth, we start losing energy, connection with ourselves, connection with source, to really hear better. Fear is just no bueno. Like, it's not good for anyone. In your mind, your ego will be like, but it's good for me to have this fear. It's good for me to have this. It's good for me to protect yourself. The invitation is not to protect yourself. The invitation is to work on building your self-trust and your power. Because the more you're trying to protect yourself, the more you're in fear. See how that's a catch-22, right? So it's like, even though life wants to help you, you're not receiving fully all the help that you can receive. Like you're not. So I wanted to bring up these 4 areas, right? I tend to work with my clients with this, and to really figure out what's going on. A willingness to learn really helps releasing and helping you becoming like in that soul level. And then I help you work through receiving it at every single layer in your being, in your body. So that's like an embodiment process where you're like, ooh, I feel different. Kira, would you like to share, like, what was your experience like doing some of the clearings?
During some of the clearings, they were actually my favorite part, because it was like, it was like a meditation, and I was there alone with my thoughts. I was able to shut down the ego so I could hear my intuition, and I got some insights of, I figured out a lot of my blocks of where they came from, of a lot of the times where I had no idea where it came from, but I knew I had that block. And I got I was able to hear where they were from. Yeah. And then once you make awareness to them, it's easy to release them.
Yes.
So I released many, many blocks.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
So thank you. Ladies, would anybody like to share or ask any questions so far about where we're at? Like, basically what I want you to get is that the more you work on releasing these energies, these sphere energies from your body, from your being, the more you will be congruent in what you learn. okay, online, or other things, things will finally start working and you will feel so blissful because you're like, oof, I finally got it going on, right? Like this is all making sense. The only thing that would have you stop yourself from doing this work is just resistance from ego and fear, okay? That is the only thing. It's like, I invite you to have like a real open heart for yourself. Why? Because in order for you to attract your ideal man, right, you want to work on these energies of helping yourself truly release, but also building courage and building commitment towards yourself, because a goddess knows her worth, right? She's not shaking in her boots about what people will think about her. Okay, so we want to build up that courageousness. It's not aggressive, it's not blunt, it's a courageousness that comes from within and it comes from the soul. Okay, so I bring this up because there's inner work, and sometimes your ego will have you go into a place where, trying to find the best way to say this. I'm going to say it how it's coming up to me. This might be a little bit blunt. But you know, in Panama, every country is a little bit different. But whenever I mention what I do to a lot of people, like depending on the country, I see many different reactions. Love is something that triggers people like big time. And I'm always like, okay, cool. Like, do you, like, I honor your belief systems, etc. That's fine. I notice that in Panama, at least, people, it's like, there's a lot of people who just don't like what I do. Like, it brings up so much of their stuff, like they're not willing to listen. And that's one of the things that I had to learn, be willing to listen, be willing to discern. But it's like they just go up on my face and they start telling me all of the beliefs. And I just want to say this. We don't want to talk from ego. We don't want to talk from maybe like, there's many people who judge what I do, who are like, oh, but there's no point in her doing that. Like, what's the point in that? Honestly speaking, the person who says that to me is a person who's not having a good love life in many cases, because it's like, why does my existence bother you so much if supposedly you're having a happy relationship? Does that make sense? Somewhere they're still holding on to shame energy in their being. And that impacts their capacity to receive in some areas in their life. So if you get super triggered by what I do, obviously this is not you guys, but if you get super triggered by what I do, why does my existence have to impact yours, right? Like, I'm helping people who need it, period. So we don't want to talk from that ego space where we are not open to listen and to do our work, right? I might not know what your full work is. Does that make sense? If I don't or have a full awareness of all your work is, if I don't speak to you, or even if you know what I'm saying? But the thing is that it's your responsibility to do it and to go silent for a minute and be like, okay, what is it that I need to do, right? What is it that I need to do? And move into that light, okay? So that you can evolve, you can grow. I have my lessons, you have your lessons. But unless you're willing to really get them at a soul level, there's always going to be an element of ego within you that might not be willing to listen, okay? And that just repeats your stuff over and over and over again. So I am talking to the woman who's done with the pain, because it's your ego that brings you pain. It's not God. It's not life. It's that identity of separation that you've built, either because you don't feel worthy of it and it makes you defensive of God or life or the universe. And even holding on to that thought wouldn't even be like your responsibility. It would be what you were taught growing up, right? So why get defensive in the first place? Or there's a part of you that feels like you're better of doing the work, better above the work. That's okay. But I'm like, this is the work that has changed my life. Does that make sense? And all my clients can testify too. So I help you find out what's your work and your alignment, so you become that shining star in your own life and you move forward with confidence, with grace. And you just do your life the way you want to, right? Because people will talk. People will talk. We saw that in the Bible. It's like when you shine, people talk. But why stop yourself if people are going to talk? They have no power over you. It's kind of like the small dog that barks against the big dog, right? But we give her a power, and it sounds simple, but when you have fears, maybe even traumas in your body, it doesn't feel small, okay? So trying to just push it away and like man up about it is not the answer. It's about loving and like nurturing yourself enough to release them and downloading that energy of safety in your being. And that is what this work is about, and building up your connection, okay? Now, when you trust yourself at that stage and you work on opening up your energy to love and bringing in a clean, super clean, ego-less love, you attract a man that is devoted to you. So why is it that dating has been difficult nowadays? And don't worry, ladies, like we're about to end soon. Remember, like I gave you like 2 hours, 1 hour and a half for it. But remember to stay until the end, because we're going to do the clearing. We're going to talk about the program, and I'm going to give you a special offer for just being here. So, okay. So why has been dating so difficult in the last 20, 30 years, or whatever you want to call it? Because ego is everywhere. That is the big difference. Ego has spread like wildfire through social media. Everybody has a platform to talk, to scream, to bash people. I remember when I was growing up, there was the TV show like Battle of the Sexes. What am I learning? I have to fight with the opposite sex. What is the ego teaching us? We have to fight. There's scarcity. Like others have it better than us. Look, in life, you're always going to find either men or women that are in ego, okay? But it should never be a battle of the sexes. It's about creating more union. And that's the thing. So there's so many loud voices of people that are in pain. So it's like, God bless them, send them love. But you pick up on it, and you're like a sponge when you're a kid. You see it everywhere. Messages that make you question your worth against a man. If a man is going to value you or not, you might have seen it in your family. Now, it creates so much division, and it's spreading out like wildfire because of social media. Even about being independent, about being this. It's a very interesting thing. There's books out there on how to cheat, like how to play games with other people. And there's also many amazing people out there that are doing great work, amazing, like God's work, the universe's work, like on bringing in love. So what happens is that now, in the last years, what happens is we've been taught so much division and so much fear, and I hear unworthiness, worthlessness sometimes. That, of course, and because there's so much confusion and condemning energy, all brought up by the ego, that voice that's separated from God and from life and from source, that men are questioning their masculinity, women are questioning their femininity, women are hating on their femininity, men are questioning themselves. And it's a very interesting thing. Sure, awareness is very different from questioning and judging and wronging your essence. There's people on this planet that are feminine, there's people on this planet that their essence is more masculine, there's people on this planet that have a little bit of both or whatever, fine, do you. The thing is that the people that are like more neutral are condemning being feminine or being masculine, and they're telling you what you need to do and who you need to be. Therefore, because you're so innocent, and A Course in Miracles says this, the mind of, who we are, the human spirit is so innocent, right? Somebody blames us for something, and if we don't know who we are, we might take it when it might not have been ours in the first place. So we need to learn how to love diversity. There's people out there that are feminine, there's people out there that are masculine, there's people out there that are more neutral. But everybody is like saying from the top of their minds what they believe. And if it's not a message of inclusivity, we want to pay attention to that. If we feel condemnation from the message that we're receiving from somebody, pay attention to that. You don't want to condemn masculine energy. You don't want to condemn feminine energy. right? There's so many judgments and shame surrounding nowadays masculinity, around femininity, around being neutral, right? So it is about inclusivity, knowing who you are, and knowing that there's like a God element in all forms, right? There is a shadow version, an ego version of each version of the one that seems even like the most inclusive, which could be like the neutral one, right? There's a shadow and there's an ego version in the one that is feminine. There's a shadow and there's an ego version in the masculine, but there's like a God-like one in each of all three, right? Where it's a more loving energy. So because we only learn through experience when it comes to love, there's a lot of attack and reactiveness and judgment there that can create all of that inner turmoil within you, within us, okay? But it's our journey to come back into that peace, into that alignment, into that choice of what we want. If you're understanding, you want to be more feminine, you want to come back to that. That is awesome. Don't let people judge you or shame you for that. Don't let people tell you that you need to be a certain way to be feminine. I've had people come in on my channel and try to shame me for, it's interesting, like, Nicole, like, you should be softer as a feminine person. And I'm like, say what? You know, like, it's like you will find people trying to tell you whatever they think, and that's okay. God bless them, right? The thing is, you get to do you, you get to own who you are, but you want to be very mindful of who you listen to, right? Like, and not just who you listen to. The main thing you want to be mindful is who you choose to be and who you are, and learn to accept that and not wrong that, and then be mindful of the voices around you. There's amazing people out there that are doing all this, like, love coaching or dating coaching. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you trust who you listen to, and build that discernment within you to, it's like, how can you wrong like energies and family, and, you know, like, does that make sense? It's all about you coming into center and knowing how to, I feel, bring your soul into the love that you give, and learning how to bring in that accountability. Okay, so let me know if this is making sense to you, because we want to hold ourselves accountable as souls. And when you learn to bring yourself accountable and know who you are and your worthiness and your deservedness, and you work on opening up your energy to that energy of love, but also feeling worthy of having it and keeping it within your energy and all your energetic systems, and building up that connection, you will by default attract the man that is a vibrational match to that. Because your energy is one that is closer to love, and you are not fearing love. You feel safer in that energy than outside of it. I want to say the following. It's because it's a courageous, bold energy, right? And your man is really courageous, and he knows who he is at the same time. So, and that's what I want for you. I do have some testimonials of some clients that I've worked with, because I only have a couple of the slides. I want to share this one with you. Let me see, how can I do this? Okay. Okay, here it is. All right. I'm happy and grateful Mercury retrograde is leaving. Like, I had to have a good laugh when this happened. So, and declare it perfect. I'm going to be doing the training again. So, let's see. Okay. Sharing. Okay. Here you go. So this is a comment that I received, testimonial that I received from one of my clients, Mia Davis. She said, Nicole is such a gift. Her work is transformative on so many levels. She woke me up to certain patterns and habits surrounding love that I was unaware of. And that's what I mean. When things are unconscious, they are unaware. And after working with her, my life opened up in such a beautiful way, an easy way. I've learned how to trust in my guidance and divine support. something I struggled with, because I give you order and structure to really help identify it and know it and how to build it up. And she said, well, wow, what a difference it makes. Now things flow quite easily, which is all right. Right? And many of you are saying, like, love should come to me easily. Like, well, that's the work that we do, right? So if you're considering working with her, I highly recommend it. Another comment there was a great insight and wisdom and very relatable. Kiara did say she feels amazing. I feel so much in my power. You helped me so much. This is one that I wanted to add. It's in Spanish. It's from one of my clients here. And she speaks Spanish, but she manifested an amazing man. I lost the pictures I have on my phone that she sent me, but she basically would take pictures like in between couples, and she was like, she would use like the meme like Forever Alone. She was like, oh my God, here I am, like the fourth wheel or something like that. But she manifested an amazing man. And then she took a picture of like 3 couples kissing, and she was like, here's the change, Nicole. Like, I wanted to give you an update of this picture. She's like, working with you helped me discover the in a very quick way, the blockages, conscious and unconscious, that I had around protecting myself from love of other people and from the universe. And she was really grateful for the work that we've done. And then we have Claudia, where she says, thanks to Nicole, I was able, through her dedication and warm support, to open up to a wonderful relationship after 10 years of singleness. She made me become aware of what it was that I have all within me, taught me to value it and embrace my inner self so that I was able to attract the right man for me. I am now in love with a wonderful man who adores me and wants to have a future with me. On top of that, Nicole supported me massively through the energetic work, the one that we mentioned, and it was like specific and unique to what she needed, right? And book recommendations will literally change my life. She's a wonderful human being who accompanies you through your journey of self-acceptance discovery with lots of empathy, but also concrete support and orientation, so that you get to understand and handle all parts of you in the best way for you. Already recommending her to my friends. Everyone would need to get Nicole's work. And I helped her to, like you said here, gain trust again in her femininity, which she now knows that she doesn't need to protect anymore. So great. And then I have this testimonial from this client of mine, Amber. She said, Nicole's coaching has been absolutely life-changing for me. And I've loved my experience of working with Amber, because Amber's like, boom, like, I need to do something, I'm gonna do it. I see results all of the time. She takes on the work, and I really love that. She says, Nicole's coaching has been absolutely life-changing for me. I came to her because I was looking to step into my life more fully and ready to make changes. And that is exactly what has happened since beginning working with her. With Nicole's help, I was able to identify what was holding me back from finding love and release it. I'm so grateful to her and her program. She really puts in a lot into what she does and helped me to discover my inner self-worth and how to embody my femininity. Within a few months, I attracted a man who is perfect for me. To anyone who is questioning if they should try coaching with Nicole, it is 100% worth the investment in yourself, if you're ready and open to it. I was new to coaching, and I'm so happy I took the leap of faith and signed up. Here's what's interesting. Nicole delves deep with fierce love. She really helps you to connect to an unshakable place within yourself, which is what we've said here. A goddess holds really unshakable energy about herself that is just recognizable. Like you just don't miss it. We also worked together in my career, and within that time, I attracted a promotion and a raise in my job. I attribute to a sense of confidence and self-love that I have cultivated through the shift of mindset she has helped me to initiate in me. Nicole helps you to discover what's already in yourself so that you can let go of your fears and shine. So I love those testimonials, and we're gonna go into the work now. But I want you to know it's like this is possible for you. The more you work on opening up your energy and having the right alignment of energy, what happens is that you simply attract the love that you're looking for and you're seeking, okay? So I want to hear from you. We're going to be doing a clearing now, a small clearing to really start moving you into that space of choosing yourself. And I would love to hear from you. What are you looking for to start clearing, start releasing from your being? Please write it in a chat box, and we will start, okay? Just let me know. Okay, let's see if there's, okay. So, ladies, would you like to share? Okay, so what would have you close your heart, for example? You wrote that there, like, what would have you close it?
Are you talking to me, Nicole?
Yes.
I think I'm in fight or flight a lot, to be honest. And I think that is causing me to, what I just got from what you said this evening, I think it's a part of my nervous system that is blocking it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of fear, which is not making room for the love, right?
Right. Okay. Good. Nervousness. That's good. So it's good that you picked up on it. That it's somewhere around your nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Thank you so much for bringing that up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I do want to say this because it's I applaud you, Kiara, for bringing that up. It's like sometimes I'll work with a client. Depends on the person. Like I said, I'll pick up what you need.
Yeah.
I've worked with clients who attract their man like in a month, in 4 months. They will attract the man in a year. Okay. And some clients, maybe they need it a couple of months. Others need it like a year or a year and a half. And the man came in like month 5 or month 6 or month 10 or month 12, but they would still do the work, right? Because it's like when you carry this flight or flight energy in you, it can take a little bit of a while, but that doesn't mean that your man is going to come in at the end. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've had clients who like, meet the man, get married, we continue to work together. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So that is something that is like, it's about just doing it out of love. Like I said, it's not outcome based, right? And it's just your journey. And the more you can fall in love with it, like instead of like loving the fact that you get to do this for yourself rather than judging it is one of the easiest ways to just be in that flow and just do it. And the more you are in the flow, the more you receive it. So I do want to highlight that because each person's journey is different. So what we're going to do, we're going to do one of the modalities that I use. Okay. I want you to close your eyes. You're going to inhale and you're going to exhale. Inhale and exhale. You're going to visualize white light coming in from the earth and coming in from the sky, merging together inside of your body. This is divine white light, supportive light. Now, as this light meets at the center of your body, feel how it starts to expand, where you just see this beautiful circle of white light moving all around you, emanating from you, connecting you to the earth, connecting you to source. And then it starts to expand further and further until it's the size of the whole wide universe. This light connects you to the support of your angels, of your ascended masters. It connects you to Mother Earth. It connects you to being supported by all of life so that you feel held. And you start to really feel and receive the understanding that you are loved, that you are supported, and that you are guided. So as the light starts to expand and expand and expand, feel how this white light starts to penetrate all layers in your being and in your body. You feel it inside of your cells. You feel it all over your chakras. This is helping you realign your chakras and start really receiving and vibrating the energy of grace.
Gianna,
Feel and expand and feel your energy grow and feel this white light penetrating all of your cells. The more you expand this white light, the more you feel your cells expand, the more you're letting go of fear. So as this is being really cleared for you, we now give the command to start clearing away, letting go of all these fear identities, judgments, punishments that you give to yourself. So all the places in your energy field where you are choosing to punish yourself, to give up on yourself, all of those choices energetically, we're now releasing them, releasing all the baggage that you have around them, all the weight. Feel you're being covered by a beautiful purple light that is transmuting and releasing this judgment, condemnation, shame, programs from your psyche. Just let it be washed away. Feel yourself lying down on earth, feeling yourself relax and rest, and letting yourself really be nourished right now and just let go. Have the courage to start releasing some of these core fears that you have around receiving love and that get in the way of you believing in your possibilities. Life, the universe, your angels, your ascended masters, they're all helping you right now to start believing again, clearing away. And I invite you to add more light to your sights. Yes, all the turmoil that prevents you from listening, from choosing yourself, from choosing a clear path forward and trusting that clear path forward. All of the energy is being cleared right now at all levels now forever. Anywhere you're blocking your connection to your crown chakra, your connection to the universe, all of that energy is being really released, deleted from your field right now, opening up connection, opening up enlightenment. All the weight, all the ways in which you block your crown chakra, your enlightenment, the opening of your eyes to the truth. Anywhere you block your communication, your knowing, your self-expression, all those programs, we are releasing it right here, right now. With your inner authority. We clear all these programs now, at all levels now, forever. If you feel yourself yawning, that's okay. All this judgment, all this inner criticism towards yourself, and all the places where you don't act on it, like you don't act on choosing yourself, loving yourself, being congruent around your self-love. All the places where you put other people before you. And anywhere you're not willing to expand, you're not willing to grow. We completely release that at all levels now forever. Your angels and ascended masters are helping you, releasing all cords. I hear all dogma that you have around. I hear celibacy. Any word judgments are blocking you from moving forward. We release that at all levels now and forever. We transmute that. We release that out of your throat. And we start opening up your channels, taking positive movement forward. Opening up your channels to taking positive movement forward, to trusting your gut, to trusting your intuition. And making it work no matter what. Instilling true courage, commitment for yourself. And just expand your energy. And as you expand, you even let even more white light come in and start settling in your body. Let this white light start settle in your body. So you start making choices that are more aligned with the truth of who you are, which is love. From centeredness, from trust. Now imagine kind of like white burst of white light around you, just moving beyond the speed of light, all around you, helping you create a transformative moment for you, radical breakthrough in consciousness to speed up your process, your awareness, your release. See it being cleared from underneath your feet too. And now feel this white light bring in decisiveness, commitment. And feel this white light growing roots to the center of the earth. Being really grounded in this awareness of love. And in front of you, you're going to start to see right now your higher self. She has a message for you. And she's right next to your ideal man. They both have a message for you. Ask yourself now, what do I need to do to start moving forward in my alignment to meet him? To be in that vibration that allows not only for us to meet, but for me to just own it and create a life with this person. A life that we both enjoy and are responsible for. Now stay in this energy and feel now your higher self merging with you so you have a deeper clarity of this message. A true awareness of your higher self. Your man now says a message to you before he leaves. We give thanks to the support that we received today. And when you're ready, feel free to open up your eyes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you feeling?
Good.
Good. Did you receive a message?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Smiling.
Sorry?
I see you smiling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did receive a message. My higher self told me to just learn to be more calm in general and to have more trust, and that I'm really close and that I'm doing a good job and I'm on the way.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So happy to hear that.
Thank
Super.
you. Mm-hmm.
So ladies, how about the rest of you? If you don't want to talk, it's okay. But I hope that you had a personal experience with this, and that you see, like, you feel at least lighter. So can you share in the comment section, like, how are you feeling? At least, are you feeling lighter? So what I am going to recommend for you to do is to drink a lot of water with this clearing process. There was a lot of energy that was shifted. For those of you who are interested in doing Goddess of Love is my signature top program. It's an 8-month program that you can do either with me in a private format. If you do the private, you get access to the group format, or you can do it in group format with me. It's a very intimate group of people where we work together for 8 months in helping you first and foremost understand and discover what are the places where you're blocking your energy, the unconscious things that are been blocking you. We first go through a stage of clearing all those things so that you open up and you become more receptive to your good. Then we help you stabilize that energy on that space of worthiness, where you really clearly exude it, and just move forward in life. Then we move into a space of building self-trust, your connection with source, your sense of power, regardless of external circumstances, knowing that you have the power to create in your love life. We then move into the space of dating. And even if you're dating already a person, like, it's all about knowing how to call into you really high caliber men. We work on those first few months and clear not only your beliefs about yourself, but about men too. So you're more daring, you're more open about putting yourself out there, and attracting a higher caliber of a person. And then we work on really knowing how to create that oasis, like ego-less love, where both of you are really, really committed to each other and you grow from it. When you do the group version of it, like, it's going to be such an amazing experience and program, because we have a plethora of live trainings that you do with me on a monthly basis. We meet 2 times on a live call where we have Q&A, we have trainings, you have a library of videos that I created that are curated, that are like channeled, they're intuitive on love and how to embody your goddess on the external, like your body, how to love up your body, how to love up who you are in your soul, your heart, and just really rock it and be confident. It's kind of like full of yourself in a good way. When I say it's full of yourself, like, that's actually our God-given right, like, to be full of who we are, whole, not broken, not whole, not lacking. We want to be full of who we are, so that, like, the man that you want can see you. You want to be sending out your full signals, like signal of energy, so that he can pick up on your energy, right? Is your own authenticity. Then we have these trainings on really building up that sense of self-worth, how to do it with dating, how to open up online. And it's very detailed, and it's very specific. We also then move to really, like, you have the Q&As, you also have the library of training videos, you also have a library of clearing videos, and we also do clearing videos live, because I'm always in the group checking your energy to see what is going on. Normally speaking, when a person joins a group like this, it's like their souls already choose it. So the energy is quite similar. Okay, so you're not gonna experience like somebody's talking about that, you're not in that awareness. That's why we talk first, and I check to see where your energy's at and how I can help you. So you're gonna have the full transformation, and you're gonna have these recordings for you, the live calls for you. You also have access to ask me questions inside of the group in between sessions, And you also have private sessions with me where we can address things that you want to keep more private, or you want to do private stuff with me, like clearings or stuff. You have access to that too as well. It's the most amazing program that I have around it. We cover all aspects of clearance, like we said, soul, body. We cover nervous system. We cover like the mind level. We cover all of it so that you come out of it strong, feeling whole, feeling really good, and just ready to rock it and be even more like the expanded version of who you are. It comes even with a 1.5 day retreat here. And I'm excited. I'm excited for all that the program has to offer. The starting date of the program is March 24th. So for those of you who are interested, I put a link on the chat box. It is HTTPS. Well, you know that, right? Like Nicole Elissa. So that's NicoleElissa.as.me/man magnetism assessment. Okay, so, or for those of you who already follow my email, the link is already there. We will have this assessment and I will connect with you to see where you're blocking your energy. How can I help you? If Goddess of Love is the right fit for you, private or group, or if just a clearing program would help, I want to help you. Okay, make this easy, because once you do this, it all becomes very easy. And I know all of you want like more ease and more flow, right? One of my clients that I mentioned, or that I used on her testimonials, for her, like, she had this belief that life was hard. So she would attract success, but it would come with hardship, right? And she was attracting it. I was like, look, you gotta release that belief. That was one of the beliefs that we had to release. And then things started to naturally flow to her. That's why it's like, we don't have to be like a warrior. We don't have to like call all these titles, because we attract more of what we take on, you know, the hustle, all that kind of stuff, and we resist our next level. So I want you to move forward, because there's this phrase that Albert Einstein says, like, you can't achieve something at the same level of consciousness that created the program, like the problem. So in life, we're always called to expand and to make things easier for us and to become a new energy. And the more we don't resist that process of expansion, the easier we do it life. It's like when you see technology, right? Like managers or CEOs who refuse to change, like that is detrimental for their business, right? Because life is constantly changing and it's always expanding. And we got to keep not only our minds up to that, like, but also our hearts and that change and that expansion, because it's who we are. Okay. So we want to keep ourselves in that nature, and you're going to start to see the amazing results that you're looking for. And I promise you, your man can show up like in 6 months or something like that. The more you work on doing this inner work and getting yourself the right alignment in. Okay. So I put the link there, Nicole Elissa with a double S.as.me/man magnetism. I hope you enjoyed this training. I will be sending the link for you to have a call with me if you wish. I only have a limited amount of spaces available for this week, so make sure you set up the time. And I am excited to connect with you. I hope that you got a lot from this training. I want to do a Q&A, right? But I'm not sure, like, I want to know who wants to ask the question, because it's been kind of quiet, but that doesn't mean that I know that you're not paying attention. You might be busy, and it's totally fine. I just want to know if anybody has any questions about the program, about where they are in their love life, and they want to get any sort of feedback from me to support them. If you don't have any questions, would anybody like to share what was their biggest takeaway from this training today?
I'd like to say.
Yes, please.
Oh, was there someone else?
No, don't tell me.
My biggest takeaway is where I saw where I was still blocked. And that's what you do, is you help me to see places that I can't see myself. So you help me to bring awareness to it. So there's layers and layers, right? So you help me to see a part of that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And everybody, like I said, everybody's journey is different. That's why I say some people, like, they attract the man and they continue to do the work, or some, like, it's just this small piece. You don't know what you don't know. But if you have an open heart to it, it will work.
Yeah.
It's like an open heart to your process and to your transformation, and coming back to love. All right. All right, ladies. So it was a pleasure. Rest well. If you want to send me a message or something, let me know. The link is here on the link is here. I'm going to do this so that you can see it with ease, because that's what I'm being guided to do. Because I get the sense that some of you might not see the link properly yet. So I'm going to put it here in this way. How do I do this? I don't know if Chloe, you were going to say something or not. So I did see a change there for you. But this is the link. This is the link. So that's the link for you to set up the assessment. So you see as Nicole Elissa with a double s.as.me/man-magnetism assessment. And we will explore working together if it's the right fit, if Goddess of Love is the right fit for you. And it's going to be a fun journey. It's going to be a liberating journey. It's very common that, like, right after heartbreak, or you end a relationship or a divorce or something like that, you're wondering, like, was it me? Was it me? And it's just time to stop questioning worth, right? And just, the answer is never to question your worth, but the answer is to own your worth. The thing that made you question your worth in the first place is the reason why owning your worth is essential in doing this work and being in this right alignment. And it's a secret that a lot of people don't know, right? So the more people can know about this work, the better. So ladies, it's been a pleasure. I'll be in contact with you soon, and I can't wait to connect with you over the phone too. All right,
Thank
take
you.
care and have a beautiful night. You too. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining, Kiera, and for sharing. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.